Okay, we did a changeover, we call these. Sometimes we'll call them a conversion, but that's if there is already gas at the property. We did not have natural gas at this property, and it was a heat pump. So we call this a changeover, and requires a permit, inspection, and so forth. And we're here now actually to meet the inspector and hope to get this job passed off. And so I don't see any problems thus far. We're going to go underneath and look. And right here is where they're going to put the gas meter. And looks like we're boy, it's hard to bleed down. Yeah, we're still holding pressure. There's our bond. So let's go take a look at the outside unit. And looks like it's going to be all right. Shouldn't be any problem with any of that. So let's go underneath and take a look at the furnace. Now this will be a 2-pound gas meter. So it will have a regulator, a drip tee, a test tee, and all of that on the gas line. And they're pretty strict about all that. Everything looks good here. There's our Fusetron, which is what we use to break down the heat pump voltage. There's the old heat pump disconnect, and so we put that, there's a screw-in glass fuse and a little switch right there. And here's our receptacle for our condensate pump. And here's what they're so strict on the gas line. You have to have all of these components in this order. So obviously the line comes in, here's your sediment trap, moisture trap, whatever you want to call it, and then the regulator, then the union, and then there has to be another T right here, but it's just for test. It's just a pressure test T. I don't know why they make you put all that. Obviously you can read that on the gas valve, but this is just building codes, and that's what they require, so that's what we do. So that's what we call a 2-pound station right there. And I'm not sure how it is around the rest of the country, but that's what we have to do here. And even though this is the counter strike, I think this is called Flash Shield by Gas Tight, and then Track Pipe makes one they call Counter Strike. So it's the double insulated, and obviously I need to show my guy a little better how to do those fittings, but they work like that. Even though we have those, even though we have that type, we still have to bond the gas line as we saw outside. Everything in here looks good to me. Somebody was asking me the other day what the name of those filters are. And we buy them from Allied, so that's kind of tied into several brands, but that's who we buy that filter cabinet from. It's a real nice deal there. So we got new plenums, new duct all the way, and what we did was we came off each side of the plenum with 14s, and that's a piece of 14, and it looks like right here after we took the first couple of drops off is where we dropped down to 12. Like I was saying, we call this a changeover, meaning it's a permit and inspection to get the gas, so the utility has to change over. Okay, the inspector just left. You can see they tracked it up a good bit out here. But he did give us a tag, and he bled it down a good bit to nothing, so I hope the gas company didn't want to see the air test. So we should be able to get a meter out here in the next 2 or 3 hours, I hope. We're lucky that the inspector didn't show up at 4 o'clock. And then get them some good gas heat. We tore out their heat pump, and this morning he called. He said, boy, I tell you what, I think I'd rather have my heat pump back. This waiting on the gas meter is rough. So let's call the gas company and see if they got the release yet, and hopefully we can get some good news for these people. All right, well, I looked up and the gas company was here. So they've pulled up and they're working on the meter now, so we're going to get these people some heat. So we're going to paint this blue pipe for the customer, something a little bit closer to his brick color. See if it'll look a little better. All right, so he's got my gas on, so all we got to do is turn it on right there, and she ought to fire right up. Looks like my emblem broke. Here we go. I heard the vent, so we may have to come back and bleed it, but usually by about the 2nd or 3rd try she fires up. This is a pretty short line, so let's see what happens here. Alright, so that ought to look a little better. We'll wait and let it dry and peel that tape off the wall. And they just turned it on, so we hope it fires right up. And we put the bond clamp back on that elbow right there after they tied us in. So we should be in business here in just a few minutes. I think I saw it move a little bit. So it tried once. Okay, here it comes. So let's see if she'll fire up this time. If it doesn't, I guess I'll climb under there and loosen that union and bleed it. Ah, it tried. Saw that one move. So he might not have bled it as much as I thought he did with his line out of the ground here, but it sure smelled like he did. But I'm just hoping this thing fires up. If it doesn't, I'll go dig some pipe wrenches out. And I think I probably could have already done it in the time I stood around and waited on it twice. But if I grab some wrenches and go under there, it'll be lit by the time I get to it. And if I don't grab the wrenches, it'll lock out and quit. So they call that Murphy's Law, I guess. Let's see what happens this time. Nope. Alright, let's get some pipe wrenches. Yep, I knew if I went and got my pipe wrenches out of the truck, she'd fire up. So there it goes. It's burning. So, and here comes the smoke from the first time it burns off. So we better go in here and warn them it might smell up a little bit in the house too that first time. But she's a burning. Let's go see what we're getting. I sure do smell it in here. I know the customer's gonna be happy to put that back out in the garage where it goes. I got one of these new T6 thermostats that I do not like. But let's find a vent. This is the return that we upgraded. This house had two 10 by 20s. So we put a 20 by 25 here right under the thermostat. And there's this vent right there. Let's see what we're getting out of it. That thing, 80 something degrees in my pocket. This will be over here where we can read it. It's up over 100, 102. But there's been no heat on in this house or in these ducts for several days. Actually, there's never been heat in these ducts because we replaced them all. So she's slowing down and ain't climbing too fast. I think it'll probably hit 110 maybe. And it was about 72 in there on the thermostat. Well, I know he was smiling when he saw me out there, and smoke started coming out of the flue pipe. So that ought to have quit by now. And they have not been comfortable in here through this cold weather. It was 22 degrees last night. So I'm gonna help him carry this stuff out of here and take off. So we set something in the 30 to 35 degree rise. I think we're okay. Not at all worried about it. That's another one done, so thanks for watching. And I'm gonna let that paint dry a little more before I peel that tape off the wall there. But that's just a little something we do to paint it. And they make us put that coupling there. That's called a break-off joint. And I guess they figured somebody was walking by here and ran into it. It would break at the first joint instead of wobbling the straight pipe out of the furnace or whatever. I don't know. That's just a building code. So